Let's go. Welcome to the show. It's Project Open Mic. Let's take the show off right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me, cause it's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Let's get the topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's take the show off right. Alright, what is going on, everybody? This is your boy Tig back again for another Project Open Mic. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope y'all are doing good. Let's put my lovely mother on the screen. Okay, there you go. Hope you guys are doing well. One more time. So we're back here again. Holidays around the corner, and got, gonna bring you some up-to-date news and everything. Now I want to say this and try to get into the show quick case as possible. Tonight's show is gonna be heavy, so I apologize for a lot of stuff up front, but if you don't want to see heaviness tonight, it's gonna be because I just have to point out these things that's going on. Now tonight's show is called Is It Justice or Just Us? And there's a reason for that, and you can go and check this stuff out as usual. Again, my thing is always go and check out what I show you. You can Google it, you can find out what I'm saying. Now with that said, I want to put up as well one of those things. Again, you just you watch the stuff that I'm talking about, you Google it yourself, you see it, make sure that you guys have that situation for because I want you to be searching, because I understand people are busy. I understand people got kids, people got lives, they got jobs, but I try to do this mostly because, again, the mainstream media does really just you don't get to see a lot of things, and they have the narrative. I always tell you to spin the narrative so you don't have to worry about stuff. But I'm gonna show you tonight's show. Like I said, it's heavy because I've always told you already that look, mothers are important, fathers are important. Now I push more fathers because I've learned more that there's not really that much people pushing for a lot of men rights and fathers and everything like that. I don't believe I need to pull down women. I already show you the negativity, but I don't think you should pull down women just to make the man be right. And that's the difference that's the thing with that, how the feminists set up now, not the first wave or second wave where like a Susan Hoff Summers and stuff like that, where it was like, yeah, I have no problem fighting for equal rights, fighting for the opportunities to do many things. I have no problem against that. But the whole thing of tearing somebody down to build somebody up, that's where it gets crazy. That's where I don't agree with stuff. Now, a lot of things that is wrong going on to this day is basically the family structure. All these politicians, all these activists, all these people always talk about, we need more money. We need money to do this. We need money to do that. Over the years, they've been working against poverty. Has poverty gone down? No, because it's a mindset. They and the people who ask for that stuff, most of the politicians, they mostly just do it for the money. Okay, they siphon the money off the top. That's why I think it is. That's why I'm a libertarian. That's why I think I could spend my money better than the government. Always have, always will. I don't care if it's a Republican or Democrat. Always will. But they're always like, oh, we need more money. In most cases, when it comes to school, we need more money for school. We spend more money on students now than back in the day, and we're getting way less. We getting worse results than we gained back then. Most of the grades are grade inflation because these kids do not get taught the stuff. They're getting taught this nonsense of, the CRT and all this stuff, and the crazy math and the Common Core and all this craziness. They're not getting teach the one and the biology and stuff. They're going way off center and everything. No, they need to be teach the I'm not against science. I want to do good science, the true science, what it is, because science is a repetition of theory that can be proven. That's what it should be. Not all science is 100% gospel. It's just not that. But also, it's a point right now where these kids are getting influenced by a lot of stuff. Not bad enough that the adults are getting influenced by this a lot. That's the problem, and they desensitize this. I wish I had in a way I could have my girlfriend with me, because we saw something this weekend, and she see my point when I was saying that. There's people always think sometimes, like I call out again, Democrats for one stuff. I said, I'll be honest with anybody, and I put my biases up top. When it comes to other people, I do not. When it comes to other people, as long as you ain't hurting nobody, I don't care. I am liberal on that point. Do you go ahead, as long as you ain't hurting, killing, hurting, destroying, robbing people, stealing, doing anything against the law? I don't care. As long as you ain't doing those things. All right. When it comes to my money and my family, I'm very conservative, because that's when it comes to that. All right. But my spectrum is on a libertarian, because again, I mostly just think humans make the best, let them make their own choices, and let them take the accountability of things. One thing many people, from my work to people who work under me, is, since I'm the boss of my own company and everything, plus, like I said, my girlfriend and everybody else, they know that if I mess up, I will gladly say I mess up. I take accountability and stuff. That's just part of my situation, because that's the only way I could build myself up. But because I'm a man, I have to do that more in society right now. Women get away with a lot of stuff, and they don't take accountability, so they've got the entitlement, and they do crazy stuff with that, because the justice is not giving it. Now, the reason I label tonight's show is justice or just us, because I'm going to show you some stuff. Again, we saw an election last week in America. They have that election going about the defunding the police and everything like that. And a majority, I'll repeat this, a majority of people, basically not majority, all that went up for vote to defund the police got knocked down. In other words, they voted against it and they won the police. And 80% of the people who voted in Seattle, in Ohio, in Chicago, all those places where they had that vote, were mostly black people saying, heck no, because I've proven in my shows in the past that people who are in the cities, the black people in the cities, they want the cops, because they know how crazy going from Maryland to Minnesota to Baltimore to all the, they've said it, because in Maryland they took, and also in Ferguson, where they took the cops away and crime went up, and it was black people hurting black people. So they know it. You literally told the criminals, hey, the guard dog ain't there, so the wolf is gonna come out and say, yes, let's take care of this. That's just what it is. And black people voted against it. Those people in the neighborhood, they voted, yeah, we want the police. While like I said again, white progressive leftists are the ones who are like, yeah, you guys should not have the police. The police are doing horrible stuff to you. More white people died from the cops than black people by pure numbers. Statistical difference, yes, but by pure numbers, it ain't even close. I myself do not want cops to do, to be judge and executioner. That's not what it should be doing, and we should change everything like that. If you see my past shows, I have called out some cops for being horrible. Hell, I got an episode on YouTube down there if you want to go check to go back to the playlist and archives. There's a YouTuber that said not all cops are angels, because not all cops are angels. I've said this before. There's many people out there who I told you that I listened to a convention when it was cops, major cops in major cities, Miami, New York, Houston, San Francisco, and Washington, LA. There were police chiefs that came together, and people asking them questions and everything. And the one question that I liked, the reporter did ask, they asked them, how many cops should not be cops? And they range from 21 to about 26. So 25% of cops should not be cops. And I think they should not be there. Some are black, some are Hispanic, some are white. Some are Asian. They should not be capped because they have a complex power thing. They were bullied. It's just horrible things that should go. I've talked about the guy in South Carolina who shot, who shot a guy in the back and they planted a gun on him. He's in jail. Devin Cohen, she's in jail. And another cop was in there who told the guy, hey, take that video, whatever. But also, officers, you got to understand this. I've also shown in videos that you have to be all right with the neighborhood. You have to get out there and be a little available to them. So they're gonna feel at peace because they feel like you are not gonna do horrible things to them. Okay, so I want the cops. I think the cops need to be reformed, but I don't think it's defunding gonna help nothing. Literally, I watched a documentary, and I wish I put it in the chat, but I didn't. I might do it in the side chat. I don't know. I'll see. There's a documentary by Discovery Channel about having because everybody's like, let's have let's have the social workers go in there. These are cops. These are people who are not cops, but they have power. They went into social work and everything. There was one where this lady went in there and talked to these people. The problem is, because let's be real and honest about this, because people keep on thinking it's stupid, but no, let's be real and honest about this. If women are better at, I won't say diffusing, but they don't bring up a hard front to most people. They're the ones who could calm things down to a degree. Now they can get emotional and elevate things quicker, but to be honest, women are more in that regard. Most social workers are women. This lady walked into the place with a cop. She had a cop. This is good. They walked in there. She wanted to talk to this. They called her out there. She went in there. This is a documentary. I think it's social worker and cops. I think it's Discovery. It is Discovery Channel, and you can go to Discovery Channel on YouTube and check it out. And they have the link in my stuff to say. She walked in. She talked to the cops. She talked to the perpetrator. And the perpetrator, right? They had the door open. Now, this is lucky that she had a cop there. If she just walked in as a social worker, it would have elevated badly. Here's why. She walked in. She talked to the perp, the victim, the person who get the call, whatever. The cop was there. The cop was it was a white guy, tall white guy. Now, they let them in. They said, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. If I find a clip, I'll do a straight no chases about it. I mean, I clip the show on Pro because I can't play Discovery because again they would hit a copy, so I gotta use the audio. But he was like, and he was trying to close the door. And he's like, sir, no, we're not closing the door. I'll stand. The door stays open. I stand over here. She could be whatever. You talk to her. Of course, he did not like the situation. So you know what he did? He called other guys to come to the house, and then they brought dogs to intimidate the people. And then they intimidated and make them that they can't walk away. I'm like, you holding cops inside of the house? That's not a good idea, dude. And then they so they were in there, and they basically held the cop and the social worker, because here's the thing: if that cop wasn't there, what would happen to that social worker? I don't even know. I don't even know what happened. If it was a social by itself, think what is that, and the cameras. If these people were that brave to do this on camera, think when the camera wasn't there, what would they do? These are straight up criminals. They weren't no actors or nothing. So he held the door because he was like, okay, get rid of the dogs, because he has dogs walking around, they have pit bulls and all that stuff, whatever. They die, kick the door, and then he kicked the door and break the door and hit the cop in his head. Now, that's assault. Now, he could have done horrible things, as people will say. He could have shot him, killed him, whatever. He should not, but he did not do that. They called for backup, and more cops came. My point is, it got elevated. And if there wasn't a cop there, that social worker would have been in major problems. Because if they know that you're unarmed and they don't know stuff like that, they will test you. So I'm social worker by itself, or police, peace defenders, or whatever they want to call the thing, does not work. You need authority in case of something. There was another one up in, I forgot what it was, in Cleveland, when the mother called because her son was crazy. Call the son. There's many videos like this. You could go and Google all these videos, but this is the one that people call. It was a white cop, and it was a white person too, which is funny. Call the cop because her son was hilarious. The cop came, opened the door, ma'am, the officer, whatever. He burst through the door with a knife. This is the one with a knife, and going with a knife and all that stuff. And what happened? He told him, put down the knife, put down the knife. He didn't want to put down the knife. He backed it up, put down the knife. He didn't want to, he's swinging the knife. He had to shot the guy. Sorry that he died, but things get elevated quickly, including a domestic call, as you will see as I play tonight. Now again, right? Long way, because I'm fired up into this situation. So there's this thing called, like I said, visa call tonight, Justice or Just Us. The Richard Pryor, there's a clip, you can go and see it. He did a joke called, he went to a prison when he was, when he's like, wow, it's a lot of, man, I see what they call it, justice, because it's just us in there. It was all black people that was in there, in the prison he went to. But then Richard Pryor said, when he talked to the people and found out what they did, he said, nah, you better, and I'm keeping it clean, he's like, nah, you better lock these up. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. That's what he said. His own black people, he said, just us. But he found out that these people, he said these people deserve to do that. Now, Richard, that's the joke. So that's why I call it Justice or Just Us. Because we're going to be talking about some stuff here. And again, it's a heavy topic. I apologize for that. But this is also a topical show. So I want to make sure people understand that it's a topical show. So you could understand that this is going to be, I got to talk about some stuff. Now, one of the stuff I got to talk about before, I go in it. One is, so Congress, Republican and Democrat, passed the structure bill. Now I can play a clip of all the stupid stuff that's in the bill, which is pork, which makes no sense. But I'll read that for another day. They passed the bill. It was a bipartisan bill, so that, like I said, I'm not cheering yeah sis boom rah for the Republicans, because I always say the one thing about them is they're weak people. Most Republicans are weak. They're effective weak, and I will call any one of them out. Just point to take that and that. So that's $1.8 trillion added on to the $2 trillion he had up early this year. Oh, this is just great. This is game whatever. So there's some money that goes down the drain. That ain't gonna be fun. Okay, just for that situation. So another one will be the reason going with the justice thing. Going with the justice theme. Going with the justice theme. There's a high case going on now. A high case, which is basically which is going on, which is Kyle Rittenhouse. This is talking about the justice part, whatever again. Now, I'm not gonna play the montage upon montage of the mainstream media, the CNN, the MSNBC, the ABC, whatever. I'll show it to you what it is, but they again, that's why I said the narrative always changes. The media make sure that they make sure you hear what they want you to hear. They're not telling you the truth. I watched the trial. It's the same thing with the Bill Cosby thing, and there's a video on my on the YouTube channel as a thing about the Bill Cosby thing, which I watched the Bill Cosby trial. I'm like, how the hell he went to jail? And he say, she say, and she had no evidence, And the count before that was also a mistrial, which it should have been because the other girl lied on that too, and we had witnesses on the trial, like Miss Dickinson for Bill Cosby trial, that lied on the stand. Again, she perjured herself. Did she went to jail? No, she did not. That's the thing about it. In the women get away with a lot of stuff. We were like, oh, we got that. No, I feel bad for the people for the women who do get hurt, who do this. But there are a lot of women who call false rape, false all kind of stuff, and it hurts real people who go through these real things. Right? But I don't want to go to the litany of the situation of how that works out, because I want to like I said, it's just I'll show you how they talk and just misguide everything. It's despicable. It literally is. And I will say this for the Kenosha residents, who's this guy? I hope, for the people that are black, white, whatever, please, when things go crazy, when the it goes in situation, I hope you guys do not be prepared. I hope you guys don't get hurt. That's not my thing that I want people to go through. You know, we already don't see people mocking stuff like that, but I want to show you. I'm going to show you little clips of people on them perjuring themselves again. I'll be honest with you on this case. The only thing that could get him on is basically having a key 17, having it with a gun. Okay, that I will say is the thing that could get him on. But everything else, no. And you gotta watch the trial to find out. Do not let the news tell you stuff, because they tell you lies. They tell you big old lies. Right? Why? Because some of the stuff doesn't make no sense to me. Okay? The reason I said it doesn't make no sense to me is because the mainstream media needs to stop. You'll see what I'm talking about tonight. They need to stop this white supremacist crap. They really do. It's stupid. It's just dumb. I'm not saying there ain't people out there who believe that. Hell, I showed you last week that an actual white supremacist person voted for Joe Biden and think Joe Biden is doing a great job. Which I'm looking at the economy. I'm looking at the economy. I'm just like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? I know. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Gas prices up to crazy and everything, and you saying this is a great job he's doing? You out of your mind. Okay? You're nuts. Maybe that's why you're a white supremacist, whatever. But the narrative that killed me. The people who voted for the first black lieutenant governor, she's a white no, not really. If they were white supremacists, they would vote for a white person. That's the whole point. It's just asinine. And so they're saying Kyle Rittenhouse is a white supremacist and all that stuff like that. Okay. Funny enough, he shot white people. He didn't shoot black people. He shot white people. And it was in self-defense. It was in self-defense, but nobody want to talk about that situation. So, let me talk about, I want to make sure of something here before I put it on screen so you can see it. All right. Thank you, Dan. Just to give you an example of this, how the news is what it is, and that's why I say you gotta be careful how the narrative, because they twist the narrative. I don't trust. I do multiple sources for a reason, because I don't trust the Fox. I don't trust CNN. I really don't. MSNBC, ABC, CBS, all of them. Are you crazy? No. I listen to them, see what the story is, because I find out where the through line is. That's how you figure out what's the truth of what's going on, really. Okay? Just saying. Okay. So with that said, let me just give up this right here. And let's listen to how the situation is.
34,000 views. Legal expert Kyle Rittenhouse trial judge statements call into question possible bias. The judge snapped at CNN because he's like, I'm doing everything by the book. Why are you yelling at me? And this is what they do. This segment from MSNBC is truly crazy. Let me play a little bit real quick.
Today is day 6 in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, the Illinois teen who killed 2 people and wounded a third during protests after the death of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
First of all, Jacob Blake didn't die, but again, this is the news, so I can't say nothing.
Last year, jurors heard from the lone survivor, Gage Grosskreutz, who was training to become an EMT and was providing care to anyone who needed it.
So was Kyle. There's pictures of him doing the exact same thing and videos doing the exact same thing, but you wouldn't put that in the situation.
I'm gonna pause right there and say, according to the actual trial, if you watch it, Kyle Rittenhouse was doing the exact same thing.
He was.
And several witnesses have testified that Kyle Rittenhouse was there with a medical kit, saying he was an EMT, whether he was or wasn't. I know he was a lifeguard, and offering medical care to everyone, including the rioters. You see how they don't include that?
That deadly night in Kenosha, Grosskreutz came across Rittenhouse after he had shot and killed Joseph Rosenbaum and was about to kill Anthony Huber. Grosskreutz acknowledged that he was armed with a pistol, but says his hands were raised when he was shot by Rittenhouse.
Lie.
And I'm going to prove he's correct, and I'm going to prove that because we're going to listen to the actual trial.
That's crazy, isn't it? That MSNBC put out that statement. This guy just lied. Grosskreutz did not testify that he had his hands raised and then was shot. Isn't this insane? Here's a ABC News. Come on, let me give you some mainstream media sources. Shooting victim says he was pointing his gun at Rittenhouse.
There you go. There you go. And to prove the point, let's actually hear the trial of the person. Listen to what the person says. Listen to the person as he says. Okay, then and this is the, if you go on the memes, it's a meme because this is the prosecutor's star witness. He survived. He know about this, and even the prosecutor was like, he facepalm because he know what the heck. This is so his actual trial. What happened in the trial, and you see what MSNBC did by lying, like Tim just showed.
Seven. That's a photo of you, yes?
Yes,
Okay. That's Mr. Rittenhouse?
correct.
Okay. Now, you'd agree.
See, it might not be the best thing. He had his hands was not up. He pointed a gun at Kyle. Kyle was on his back, sitting down in that position. But they never played the video true because that's after, before he got shot. Somebody came, the other person came and hit him across the head as a base with the skateboard. But anyway, I'll let you go.
Your firearm is pointed at Mr. Rittenhouse, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And once your firearm is pointed at Mr. Rittenhouse, that's when he fires his gun. Yes?
no,
Sir, look, I don't want to. Does this look like right now your arm is being shot?
that looks like my bicep being vaporized, yes.
Okay. And it's being vaporized as you're pointing your gun
Very fries. These young kids. But anyway, sorry.
directly at him. Yes?
Yes,
Okay, so when you were standing 3 to 5 feet from him with your arms up in the air, he never fired, right?
correct.
It
Okay.
wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
I'm Yankel.
Okay? That's what you heard it. He said correct. That's what they're not gonna let you hear.
It said that you were looking for a non-lethal way to end this interaction.
That is correct, yes.
Yet you pulled your gun out and began, I'm going to use the word chase. You began chasing or running after a man who was running away from you, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, there you go. That's what he said. Understand. And that's when the guy put his hand like, oh no. That's what he said. Understand. Okay? And I want to play another little tidbit here. Because the nether star, so that was the star witness for the prosecutors. Let's go to another another person and what he did. Another person. What he did. Okay, he perjured himself on the stand. I'll show you, and I want to show you what people using the meme at the time. But he perjured himself on the stand. Again, funny how these things work, don't it?
But when he was asked about this post, he said this.
He didn't say that to you.
He never said that to me.
You just posted something about your friend, your roommate, that was a lie.
I did.
This post right here is you equating something that Mr. Grosskreutz said to you.
I lied. He never said that. Those words have never came out of his mouth.
Oh, wow. And this is supposed to be the nether star witness. Oh, good grief. And that's the meme right there that they're using. When the first guy said it, And he said, "What you just heard," and the prosecutor was like, "Oh God, that's what happened because this is their star witness, and their second star witness said that was not right." So don't let the media, don't let the MSNBCs, ABCs, and all that stuff. Like I said, ABC called it right there. At least they called it right there. But that's just, you got to look different sources. But you see how you listen to the 24/7 news media, how they will just lie straight up to you. They will. They just will. And it's messed up. It is messed up. Now, again, I don't understand how, though, it's a white supremacist thing when Kyle shot and wounded all white people. I don't get it. I do not get it. It's just weird. But anyway. Now, and also, I'll be straight up honest. I'll be straight up honest with you people. I'm not that kind of person, but I'll be straight up. I mean, I'm not a person who falls away from telling the truth. Because here's the thing. Grossberg, the guy who got killed first. Now, excuse me, there shouldn't be no execution and all that, judge, court, jury, and anything. A person's life is his life. I get that. I don't want people to lose their life. I don't go for death for a lot of people. Really don't. But I don't have no sympathies for that guy because of what he's done. One, the funny part about it is they have. I don't think I could. Let me see if I have any video. Let me just see if I have any video of that. The guy who they're saying, he actually Rosenberg or whatever his name is. I'm not gonna dignify because he was a convicted child rapist, a child raper. And the way he did it was despicable because I'm gonna show you the way he did it. And this affected more. The reason a lot of people don't care about that because he was doing this to boys than girls. I don't care who you anally sodomize. If you do it and it's underage, it's not consulting adults. You are a horrible person, and you should go. You are a
piece of loser.
Exactly. That's why I like Roman Polanski and stuff, and Whoopi Goldberg and what was it again? Who's the other for Kill Bill? The director. I forgot his name. Dang it. But the guy who did Kill Bill and stuff, I forgot his name right now. Well, basically the best thing you do because I don't want to get no. I want to get him off. I don't want to get him off the Get him off because he is just also. I want to say I like the shows, but I just cannot. Quentin Tarantino, that's what it is. I can like the show, but I don't have to like the stuff. When Roman Polanski was like, well, Roman Polanski was basically anally raped a 13-year-old girl, and Quentin was like, oh, she asked for it. I'm like, first of all, what she was doing around a bunch of adults, I don't get it. And two, she asked for it, and that's why you could go to what it was Whoopi when she like it was actually grape. I'm like, are you crazy? That thing is crazy. You're a female, and you are not picking up a 13-year-old victim, but you pick it up for a man just because he's one of the great directors. Not in my book, he ain't for doing what he did. He's a horrible person. He is a
piece of loser.
That's why. And the guy that the first guy that Kyle killed that's what he was. So you don't have no sympathy with me. And he was going around the night before, and that's why I said I don't have the video of it. It was going, but you could trust me on what I said when you could go and look at this. He was going around the night before, picking fights with black people, calling them the N-word and being all divisive and stuff like that. Funny how that don't get to the news. Despicable. Just despicable. But what can we say about that? So now here's the thing too. I have to give credit where credit's due. Now, not a fan. I listen, but I'm not a fan of the Young Turks. But I give credit to where credit due, because even Anna, who's wrong on a lot of stuff and followed the main whatever, even she, which is something that we've seen, but even she had to apologize onto this, and I'll show you, and I'm playing that for you right now. And Anna Kasparian for the Young Turks. The Young Turks are really crazy people in my opinion. But again, that's how far, like I said, I go and listen to stuff, even though I don't listen, even though I don't like it, because maybe something they'd say I might have missed. That's how my brain works. Sadly, a lot of people don't do that. They stick to their biases and just doesn't go look into it. You don't have you don't have the intellectual power to go seek out things from different channels. That's why a lot of people, including black people, are like, oh, I don't want to see Fox News this, Fox News that. Maybe Fox News could be correct. Same thing for the right. Oh, it's CNN, feeling whatever. Maybe CNN could be telling the truth as well too, or at least some parts of it. Everything's a spin, but I give it to them.
Look, these details do matter because this stuff is caught on camera. You do see it in the video, someone taking a skateboard and hitting Rittenhouse over the head with it as he's on his back. And I haven't seen this video yet, but it was already, the New York Times says it's on tape. There's someone captured on video, someone who has not been identified, kicking Rittenhouse in the face.
Does understand the concept.
Because if you're going to make an argument that you acted in self-defense, there needs to be some proof that there was an imminent threat. Right, and in this case, the imminent threat is the guy using the skateboard and someone kicking Rittenhouse in the face as he's on his back. And initially, I was under the assumption that Rittenhouse was the person who was chasing after Joseph Rosenbaum, that's how it had started. But I was wrong about that, okay? So I want to correct the record. I was, in fact, wrong about that.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Anna saying that she was wrong about the details of stuff, and I'm happy that she did it. Right, kids? Good. That's a good thing. All right? That's what that is. So, I just wanted to point that out on that situation. That is something that was needed to be pointed out in that regard. Pointed out. All right? Okay, so I've shown you this. So in case the narrative gets twisted, which I'm not going to be surprised, but if the narrative get twisted again, you see that. It's the same thing with the Bill Cosby. It's the same thing with the kids up in where they were saying they were disrespecting the Indian man, the Native American, and the kid did not do nothing, and he sued and got some money. He got some money from CNN, and I hope they keep on going for the other people who also lied on them. And again, the way that I forgot the name of the boy, but he took care of that. That's what, if I had a son, that's the way I want my son to take care of it as well too. Now again, Kyle did. The lies were his father lived in His father lived in he did not bring a gun across state line. His father lived in that same city where all this thing happened. He was protecting people. And then the question is the prosecutor, the big prosecutor asked at least some good question. The pencil neck one, he was just saying the most dumbest. I'm like, how the heck you become a lawyer? But the problem about it is people like that could get power and become a judge. And their justice thinking is just would cause the most craziest judgment. So just letting you know how that things work out. That is not good. Okay? Not good at all. So I want to make sure if you hear this thing and people go like, oh, it's gonna be it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad by this. Now I can do this here, but I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch it up. In the description, I have a YouTuber called Pink Book Lessons. You can go check out. She produced very good content. Go check her out. Give her a thumbs up and everything because she put out. I'm gonna use her video because now I don't try to use the audio for one thing, but I got to because she provides good situation too. Since I'm using that, I want to give a shout out to her. All right, link is in the description, and in the YouTube, in the Facebook, in the live, and in the Tempo FM. Twitch, I don't have that for you guys because I didn't, how that's set up. So I don't make goes on. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna use some of this stuff right there. Okay. Like I said, this show is now gonna get a little heavy now, a little heavy, and disgusting heavily too. Okay. You've heard me say multiple times, fathers are important. There's a reason why I say fathers are important. Fathers are strong men that you and women was to get to. Strong men. How should I put this? They install credibility. They understand acknowledgement. They install to the kids discipline so they don't act up. Right? Majority of people, they've done the test. You could go to Ayanna Zanzan, you go to President Obama, who said it as well too. A lot of fathers are very important. Now, the way that President Obama and other politicians use, we need to man up, man up. And at first, like I said before, when I was young, I thought the same thing too. But when I found out, no, there's a lot of men who's manning up, but the mothers are using the child using the child against the man, using the child to get welfare, using the child to get extra money, and all this stuff. And if you don't want to stay with me, again, the relationship could have gone. You could co-parent, but if you don't want to be with me, and you're gonna see some videos that put in straight no chases, stuff like that. But that's why I disagree on that part. When I found out more of that stuff, I'm like, wow. So should I go with the disgusting? Oh, both of them are disgusting. Well, no, let me go with the easy disgusting and wrap my way up. In the 60s, we fought for civil rights. We black people fought for civil rights. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Everybody have different ways of doing it. Malcolm X was more the hammer. Martin Luther King was more the olive branch. Different ways to do it, but they wanted the same end goal. Got it. Again, Lyndon B. Johnson literally said, and he's been proven correct thanks to people, because in the last election, 95%. Okay, I'll put it this way. A lot of black people do not vote, but those who vote swings a certain way. Because they vote a certain way all the time, I'm just telling you right now, because it affects that more than anything. It affects the Democrats more than it affects the Republicans. Now, more men are voting males are voting for are voting for Republicans than women. at a 95% clip, women voted for the Democrat. The numbers are set. That's the updated numbers I've seen now. That I've seen is 7-1 men to women to men. So they outnumber us, guys. They outnumber us. That goes to another thing, but they outnumber us. So they're gonna vote at a bigger number. They voted for the Democrats. Okay, there's Lyndon B. Johnson literally said on record. It said that you give me the welfare. You give me the it's basically welfare, but he called it the Great Society. You give me the Great Society, I will have these Anners voting Democrat for the next 100 years, 100 or 200. I gotta go. I'll find a clip one of these days and play it. 100, 200 years. It's been almost 70 years. He's been proven correct because majority of black who do vote for Democrat, not by 60, not by 70, but in the 95 percentile. And by doing that, which is why I brought up the story of the whole thing with giving illegals $450,000, which is just it's just distasteful. Because here's the funny thing about it: Army guys, if you're a military guy and you die, you got $100,000. That's what you get. So you're telling me a person who get across the Rio Grande for some reason, not all of them are bad, but majority of them are not kids. That was loaded. I played the clip. Go back to the last show, and you hear the clip of what what the smugglers, the coyotes, the cartels do with these kids, because they're not the parent, they're not the biological kid. They use the kid as a patsy to get over. Also, they become sex slaves. They become drug mules. All horrible things, which is crazy. But they're gonna get $450,000. But a person who died for the thing get only $100,000. That's respectful. And two, you don't give that money to those people who break the law, came over and do this. While again, blacks, no reparations in that situation. It's funny. It's crazy that my money will go towards that. They're considering it. But I played the clip. Go back to episode 52. You'll hear what I brought up the stuff about that. Anyway, let's get into these stuff like I was saying. So the reason I'm saying about the 60s because from then it's been a downward slide. I also check out videos from Sister Sherazad Ali. She predicted this way back in the late 80s into 90s. She was correct. She was 100% correct. That what was going to happen. Same thing with Joe Brown. He was correct. But you know, the media made sure that their voices did not get out there. And I am gonna do a video about Sister Sherazad Ali. Well, a couple of videos, of course, but I want to interview that she did with this other black woman that's very nice, and to get a point out there how things are, and to see how discernment she is of information, which I love. I love Sister Sherazad Ali in how she present her case. Funny enough, Ayala was against her at the beginning. Come around that Ayala, hey, you found out she was correct. Sister Sherazad, you are against her, but you come to find out she was correct. Anyway, the reason I'm saying this, setting this up, because from then, black people was at a percentage. We was, married at a higher rate. Children was with fathers at a higher rate than white people. But because of that, and they literally got it. Sister Sherazad said that, Joe Brown also say the same thing as too, because they took the fathers out of the house. Oh, you want an apartment? Give it to the father. A lot of mothers turn there, and that's where generational, systematic racism happened there, because they're keeping you people poor by you going and having kids at a young age. And then going through the welfare system, you turn the government into your daddy, not having an actual father, which is way more important to establish that child, to make sure they are the thing. Now again, not all two parents. You will see not all two parents is a good thing. I'm not saying that, but it's a higher rate. It's a better way to build a better society. That's proven. So lately now we've seen a lot of grandmothers are coming younger and younger and younger. And it's just bad. And some of these mothers are teaching Some of these mothers and grandmas are teaching their daughters how to be a thought, twerking, all that stuff. Like, what? Why? Why are you doing that? That's not a good thing. So, I want to play this because a grandmother basically how should I say this? A grandmother she's old school grandmother, and she had to put her foot down on a lot of crazy stuff that's happening. And there are not many a lot of old school grandmother like her. But I want to get, because I want to show you what she stated and the mother, because this right here is a breakdown of the family. And again, there are women out there there are kids that have both parents, but also another thing is social media and peer pressure is very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous, and I want to bring it. I thought I had it here, the video here, so give me 1 second because I want to keep this thing flowing. So that's all on my fault on that. I apologize on that in that situation there. Let's see here. Let me see if we get it.
Students with ADHD.
Okay, I'll let that clip play through. Not gonna say no names or nothing because it's just despicable. Now I'm gonna call it. I know some YouTube and stuff, whatever, but I'm gonna call it out what it is because it's just despicable to certain things. I'm gonna just call it straight out. So what I want to call out is this. This young lady went and she's 19, I believe. And there's a certain thing that kills. It's called getter. It's called ghetto. GG. But it's basically it's porn, but it's the most it's porn. Porn we have gotten to the point now that the porn itself, simple stuff is gone because we're desensitized to certain things, so we're going up to more crazier things now. Ghetto gaggers, that's what it's called. I would say do not go there. It's a horrible site. Do not go there. I know about it. I ain't went to the site. I just know about it because I watch other YouTubers and people talk about it, and it's just despicable. It's just nasty, okay? But it's mostly white men degrading. It's a degrading porn where white men just do horrible stuff, whatever, to black women. And they bound them, all kind of crazy crap. So this young lady did that. And they found out about it. Her family found out about it. So her grandmother said, no. Basically, I'll show you what the grandmother's. I'll show you what the grandmother says. Let me make sure. But this young lady, and this is why the thinking of young children nowadays is getting distorted by social media. It affects women more than men in social media, and I think you guys should, if parents, for real. I'm not a parent myself, but I think, yeah, if you should not introduce social media to your kids at no young age. I don't care if it's the TikTok, none of that stuff. Don't, because it's crazy. It literally is crazy. Sorry, I gotta put a name, but it's just despicable. So she did that, and she went on thing and she said this onto her thing, like, at the end of the day, I don't give a F who's seen anything. I got paid $2,000 for a very disgusting humiliating video. For that video, you think I give a F? And then y'all still paying to watch it, so you must like my freaky butt. Here's the problem. They pay you up front. They don't give you royalties in most of these cases for these porn things. You pay up front to get your money, whatever. So it's just crazy. All right? It's just crazy. So I just want to, so this is the grandmother. This is the who felt bad in that regard. This is what the grandmother had to say. I've never been so embarrassed and humiliated and felt so degraded in all of my 68 years. Don't you ever call me grandmother again as long as you live. Get the family pictures the hell off your page and forget you have one. You were given everything any child could want, and you're talking about $2,000 like that's money. That's nothing. That's not okay, sorry, that's not porn. That's being a 50-cent street whore live for everyone to see. Your brother, the one that's a producer in California, and the one in Jersey called. They were in tears and in disbelief. I'm done with you. And so is everyone else. Your first cousin didn't want to show it to me. I forced him to. Let's see if that $2,000 can ever help you out again. Okay, $2,000 can help you gain dignity and self-respect. Yeah, she was disgusted by that. She was. That's the grandmother, you know. Just, and people, I know people like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't kick your granddaughter out, whatever, blah blah blah. What you just did is this. And the thing about it, these you got $2,000, yes, but it's on the internet. The visual of you getting all that stuff on you, oh, just bad, is there forever, young lady. I think she was 19 years old. That is crazy. It's there forever on the internet. I'm not gonna hire you as a person. I will not hire you because I'm like, whoa. Don't want this to mess up my clientele. If you're gonna get a higher job, cause that's just bad. But old school grandmother. I like that. Now, of course, you're gonna see. I'm not gonna say it, but you see it on the screen. Now, this is the mother now speaking, saying to her, "Delete this effing page, effing now. You got your whole effing family involved in this effing s. How?" How effing dare you represent me and your father like this? We gave you everything that a child could effing desire, and this is what you do? Come back to who you love. Come back to who supports you. Come back to your roots, baby. Your roots, your baby. Come back to your roots, baby. Your mother loves you if nobody else does. Take this stuff down. And now, I'll persecute the mother on this a little bit. You ain't no queen. I don't use the queen language. I don't use the king language because by definition, we ain't all queens. That don't work that way. It never works that way. It's not going to all kings. I don't believe in that crap. And I don't want to give my falsehood for something to boost her ego or whatever. I don't do that. I'm me. That's who I am. But anyway, that's kind of help you in every situation. You gave them everything. You call them queen and all that stuff, and they got entitled, and they think $2,000 is a lot of money. But anyway, you're a queen. How could you give a F about $2,000 when you got more than that sitting home? Should I post your Cash App from me? Don't play stupid ass like that ever again. Like we are some penny bees. You dropped the ball, now pick it the F back up. That's the person right there. She don't care. I can let the audio play because she don't care. And I have to really blur out what happened at the end, which is not good. And even women who it's just bad. I don't get it. Why would you? So, you know, again, people can't on a grandmother and saying that you should not be. The thinking is not that great with young women like this. Like, I really hate people, and it's sad. Yeah, I can't go back from what I did, but y'all really did the most involving my mother like that. I'm some little girl. No, because your mother was disappointed in what you did. It was. I don't even want to go through that situation, but that's a family got broken up because of a young kid. That's what a young kid did. So I went to grandma. Nah, kick him out. Nah, what you did was bad. You don't understand how the future is. You young kids need to understand it. What's on the see, like I have a company to run. I got an architect job. I have like thing like this. They might not like me for maybe my politics. Maybe that's the only thing. But you could never say anything just bad on what I'm putting on the internet because I put up what I put up. Okay. So that's one. Now let's get back to no. Let's keep it with the disrespect. And this is why mothers need that situation. Mothers and fathers need to be there. The reason I've stated this again, who gives the people, like, where do they get the cursing stuff from their mother? Get it from the mother. Here's another one right here. You tell me when you hear this.
I was about to make a TikTok and my daughter came in with this.
Sassy.
Mom, I'm gonna tell you this before they tell you this because they're gonna say a lie. Because you know how you told me men are providers and protectors, right?
Men are providers and protectors.
So that means they go outside and work.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So you know how David's dad stay home, right?
Yes. While
David's mom goes out and work.
Okay.
So they was bothering me, talking about all the other stuff, and I was like, that's why your dad's a... And then he's like, I'm gonna tell your mom, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, but I don't want you to be mad at me because I call him a bitch because he stays home while his wife is working. They want to speak to you downstairs.
At first I thought it was fake, but nope, it's real. And what the little girl said was she is 9 years old, calling her friend's dad the B word because he's not at home, because he's home when her mother goes out to work. Now, there's many things in this little thing that I could talk about. One, the mother barely, like I said, if this was my mom and I was cursing at that age, oh, trust and believe, my butt would be red as hell. Even though I'm black, I'm dark skinned black. My butt would be red though, because my mom ain't gonna play that game.
Yes.
While David's mom goes out and work.
Okay.
So they was bothering me, talking about all the other stuff, and I was like, that's why your dad's a... And then he's like,
see?
I'm gonna tell your mom, blah, blah, blah.
That's all she did. I'm like, what? And again, looking for clout and everything. The mother's looking for clout, doing all this stuff under the TikTok and everything. She's cursing at that age. We know where she got that from. The mother. Also, you could tell what the name. What's the name of the kid? Here.
They take this because they're gonna say a lot.
Sassy.
Mom.
At that age already, you already calling her sassy, knowing that she already don't have your attitude. Sassy. And then the thing about it is, that little girl hears that. Okay, crazy you call somebody that, because you didn't like what the guys were saying. That's why they're gonna tell your mom. So at least you know that. But this is the pandemic. Many people are working from home. Maybe he's an engineer and he's working home doing stuff while his wife is a nurse. So he got to go work. Maybe he's a vet that's home. That's the home while the mother still got a regular job to go out. There's many reasons why that happened, or it could be the dad and the mom have agreement. Basically, the answer to your question is that he worked from home, but maybe the dad and them, because that's happened, because you could go to YouTube on the channel. There's Andre's Corner. Andre's Corner talks about stuff like this because of the situation, or maybe they have a situation where the dad stays home, take care of the kids, and the mom basically is that. It happens, but this is the breakdown in the family. Like my children, if I get children, would not be hearing this kind of be cursing like that at all. Again, I will get my butt handed to me with my mom. That the disrespect. Oh, I just wanted to point that out. Okay, before we get down into the nitty gritty. So here's the nitty gritty here now. Remember I told you about Rosenberg. All right, this is a long video, but it's I'm gonna play at least most of it. This is a disheartened video. All right, you've been warned.
October 24th, officers received a phone call from a 15-year-old boy. He was home alone with his little brothers, aged 7 and 10 years old. Many people, including law enforcement, shocked by the details and what they uncovered when they arrived on scene. The apartment was filthy, nasty carpet, no furniture, no blankets, no adults there, just 3 visibly malnourished boys and the skeleton remains of another boy child. The 15-year-old told police he found his brother's body almost a year ago, in November 2020. That was about 1 week before Thanksgiving. He thought his mother, Gloria Williams, would call the police. Instead, she moved out of the apartment with their stepfather, Brian Coulter, and left him there with the body for nearly a year, along with his 2 younger brothers.
Now, I want to say something up front too. And why there's a lot of men out there, not women don't hear this. There's a lot of men out there. Okay, you need to work out, whatever. They want to be in their children's lives for this reason coming up, because they want to know. They want to make sure, because the mother's gonna date somebody. Even if it's girls, you want to date somebody. You don't want them to date a man who's gonna put hands on their children. And there are a lot of guys who try to be in their life, but the mom has the power, and because the law makes it that way, horrible things like this is happening, as you're gonna hear the story.
Little known information here, but Gloria Williams also has 2 daughters. None of them found at this apartment, and I'll tell you why. But before we get into this story, all of a sudden he will get strong and then take it at 6 years old, the oldest 14. The teen Texas area, let me know below. Drop Houston in the comments. It was year 2020. 34-year-old Gloria Williams and her boyfriend, Brian Coulter, lived together with Gloria's 4 boys in an apartment in the Houston, Texas area. The youngest at the time was 6 years old, the oldest 14. The teenager and his siblings would often get locked inside of a bedroom while Brian would beat another sibling. According to the kids, he would often drink alcohol. All of a sudden he would get strong and then take it out on them. The mother, she wouldn't do anything. Her teenage son often talked to her about Brian, and she said that she would talk to him, but nothing ever happened. This also has something to do with the fallout between Gloria and one of her 2 daughters. We're going to get to that part in a minute. One day in November 2020, just days before Thanksgiving, the teenage...
This is when you want to mess with them thugs. You want to mess with these I don't care if you're black, white, whatever. What made you think this was a person that Because, oh my God. Y'all women, most of you women, not all, y'all want the bad boys. Polar bears. You ever, if people didn't know about, if people who listen to this know my joke about niggly bears, there's a polar bear.
Boy was once again locked in another room while the younger boys witnessed Brian punching their autistic brother Kendrick, who was about 8 years old at the time. These little boys watched Brian hit the boy with closed fists and stomp their brother on his face, feet, legs, his behind, and private area. According to the youngest boy, Brian continued to kick Kendrick even after Kendrick stopped moving and says the demonic beast looked at him while he was doing it. Kendrick's eyes turned black, he was out. That's when Brian covered up his body with a blue blanket. Eventually, the boys pulled back the blanket to find roaches crawling over their brother. The next day, Gloria came in the room. She looked under the cover. That's when she made the other two kids leave the room. She started fussing with Brian, who apologized and told her he lost it. Brian confessed to Gloria and said that he repeatedly punched Kendrick until the boy went to sleep. Now,
NANI? Messed up. Again, look at that crap. This just screams father material. This is what I want for my kids. Y'all make some horrible choices sometimes.
a normal person would call the police, but not Gloria.
Nope.
She did not tell anybody. Instead, she took a trip to San Antonio, Texas with the same guy who beat her son to death in front of her other boys. Why?
That's just despicable.
Think about it. Her son's dead body still in the house almost 200 miles away, back in Houston. Her 3 other boys at home with the body, watching roaches crawl all over it. Meanwhile, she's hanging out with this guy in San Antonio the day after her son was murdered by this monster. November 23rd, 2020, Brian and Gloria was on the way back from San Antonio. They stopped at a convenience store in Luling, Texas. Luling, a small town of about 5,800 people, is 140 miles west of Houston along I-10. He was so intoxicated that the manager of the store believed he was dangerous. Brian also had a gun as well, so the manager called 911 for a welfare check. The police chief said his officer went out to the convenience store, found Brian inside of the car in the driver's seat. Gloria was his passenger. Brian was arrested around 7 a.m. that morning. The police chief also said he cursed out one of his officers. They believed he was high and charged him with possession of marijuana and unlawfully carrying a weapon. He had a .45 caliber handgun on him. Brian was detained at the Caldwell County Jail.
And that's what I was saying. People always carry lawbreakers. We always get guns. Oh, we will get. Yeah, let's get rid of the gun laws, all that stuff. Like, these people are lawbreakers. They'll find a gun no matter what. They don't follow the rules.
For less than a week, from November 23rd until November 29th, when he bonded out. That case in Luling, Texas is still pending. When Brian got out of jail, he and Gloria returned to the Houston area, where they got a new apartment about 20 minutes away from the old apartment.
Gotta love the welfare system. Wait, you move. Yeah, there was a reason why you move? Welfare? No, which CP should go and check on the kids, make sure everything. Nope. That's where they fall to the system, because it just repeat, rinse, and they just don't care. So this also falls on the Child Protective Services and the Welfare Department.
They did not want to return to the apartment with the boys because the smell was too bad from the odor of the 8-year-old. Gloria was on a government program that paid for her rent each month, so she knew that she wouldn't have to worry about eviction for non-payment. She would periodically check on the boys about twice per month to drop off snack food and drinks to them. One of the surviving boys was also autistic. None of them had been in school since May of 2020.
School systems where you get paid, because children show up. You don't want a truancy officer and everything like that, for that. Why didn't y'all follow up, find out what's going on?
And although CPS had a history with this family, they didn't receive any reports about the 3 boys home alone in the apartment. Neighbors would see these kids and give them food from time to time. One neighbor said she gave the oldest boy food, but he would not accept anything but pizza, fruit, and packaged foods. He did not want any cooked food because he was paranoid that someone would intentionally poison them. The neighbors also noticed there was a really bad smell coming from the apartment too. They didn't think much of it. They just assumed that the place was dirty. None of them had a clue that skeleton remains were there. Can you imagine these boys being left there for nearly a year to fend for themselves every day, all while their brother's skeleton is in the next room? These boys at home starving while the whole time Gloria and the Beast, they were all on Instagram showing off their food and fresh tattoos, Valentine's Day gifts, drinking and drugging and living their lives as if nothing ever happened. They posted these pictures here on Instagram showing off their matching tattoos. The tattoo says warrior. They got these tattoos after this incident. Fast forward to early October 2021. Gloria and Brian returned to the house to check on the boys. That day, one of the boys, now 10 years old, became Brian's target. The boy says Brian beat him on his legs, his behind, stomach, and face. He punched the little boy in the jaw, causing his face to be swollen. Once again, like all the other times, Gloria did nothing about it.
And the story continues because basically she demoralized the fathers of the kids, that they basically, some were in jail because of child support, some didn't. They just throw their hands up because the system basically protect Gloria for all the bad things because they couldn't do nothing against the children.
The 10-year-old sat there in pain for 3 weeks. That's until his older brother, the 15-year-old, finally made a phone call on that Sunday, exposing the horror that these kids they've been living in. It was Sunday, October 24th, 2021, when the 15-year-old called 911. When police arrived on the scene, they found the children living in deplorable conditions, and it was apparent that they were not properly being cared for. The surviving kids, malnourished and very thin. Authorities said there was no furniture in the apartment that was infested with insects and the carpet was soiled. They also said the kids had been living without electricity for months. The body of 8-year-old Kendrick had turned into a skeleton the year before. Nothing was left but bones, teeth, and unattached hair from his head.
Dang.
Another one of the boys, now 10 years old, was taken to the hospital for the blunt trauma to his face and his damaged jaw caused by Brian 3 weeks earlier. Doctors say he must undergo surgery because he did not receive medical attention when it initially happened. All 3 children terrified and traumatized when they spoke to police to give their stories on what happened to them and their brother. All of them pointed to Brian and said their mother, Gloria, did not do anything about it. She just left them there alone ever since that horrible day, to keep reliving the nightmare every single day because they had a decomposed body there the whole time with them. You had the local news agencies, they jumped on this story right away, interviewing neighbors, former teachers, CPS, and other officials. Houston reporters updating everyone on new developments. You had people shocked and disgusted by this story, waiting for police to find Gloria and Brian. Do you know who else was looking at the news to stay on top of this story? Gloria and the Beast. Yes, Brian and Gloria went to the public library to get on the computer and look up the news reports about their own crimes. On Tuesday, October 26, 2021, police say they found the mother of the abandoned kids and their stepdad in a public library searching for articles about the discovery of the decaying remains of Kendrick, Gloria's 8-year-old son, in her old apartment, and the 3 starving children that they left there. Police arrested them both. At the time of this recording, Gloria, she's only been charged with injury to a child by omission and tampering with evidence. Her bond was set at $900,000. She is currently behind bars. Brian has been charged with murder, bond set at $1 million. But get this, they are housing Brian at a mental health facility. As for the kids, they have since been taken into CPS care. The 10-year-old is scheduled for surgery to address the broken bones in his face. Investigators questioned Gloria. Why didn't she report Brian? Why didn't she do anything about it? She said because Brian told her not to. According to Gloria, she was afraid her kids would get taken away by CPS and she would go to jail. Well, Gloria, CPS took your kids.
No, she didn't want it. She didn't want that money that goes away. That's what she didn't want. Let's be honest about this. She did not want that money to disappear. That's the horrific part of this whole story. All right? The story is just bad, and she didn't want to lose her meal ticket, which was the kids. Think of how the fathers feel that he found out that that's what happened to his son. Seriously, just, oh my goodness.
And now you're in jail for the cover-up. Oh yeah, you're in general population, while Brian is at the mental health facility. Gloria, now 35 years old, is a horrible mother. She allowed Brian, now 30.
No?
You piece of loser.
That's for both of them. Again, hell, that goes for both of them.
1 years old, to come into her apartment and abuse all of her kids. We've heard many reports of the 4 boys, but we haven't heard much about her daughters. That's because they were not at the house and the public did not know that she had daughters too. Fresh information indicated that the 3 kids picked up from the apartment are not Gloria's only kids. She reportedly has 2 daughters.
Starting at
2 daughters. All them kids. That's the meal ticket. That's what they want.
One is in the custody of her paternal grandmother, while the other is still missing at the time of this recording. Melody Robinson, the paternal grandmother to one of Gloria's daughters, told reporters that she believed Gloria was never a good mother. Ms. Robinson says Gloria had 2 girls. They're now 17 and 13 years old. The 13-year-old is with her son, that's her granddaughter. The 17-year-old daughter was with another man, and Ms. Robinson is the sole guardian of the 13-year-old girl. She said her son was dating Gloria around 2005 after already having 2 kids from different fathers. Eventually, her son and Gloria, they broke up. She lost contact with her until she gave birth to her granddaughter.
Your son was I'm calling it as well too. Your son was a moron. I'm sorry. Sadly that he had his loss of the children and everything. Why would you do that? Why? Men, pick better. Please pick better. Don't just willy-nilly having sex with these women. Wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up. Please.
When the girl was only 2 weeks old, Gloria dropped off the baby to live with her, but returned to get her not long after that. Then, when the daughter was about 2 years old, Gloria gave the baby back to Miss Robinson while she went to rekindle a relationship with her oldest son's father, who lived in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Miss Robinson says she always invited Gloria to family functions, but she never wanted to see her daughter. The 13-year-old girl is living a better life compared to her brothers and her older sister.
Thank God.
The oldest kid, the now 17-year-old girl, was reportedly kicked out of the apartment after she got into an argument with Brian. She was 15 years old when she was thrown out of the house by Gloria and forced to spend about 2 years on the streets. When the oldest kid was 15 years old living with Brian, Gloria, and her 4 brothers, she got into a fight with Brian, attempting to protect her little brothers from abuse. Gloria sided with Brian and kicked her out on the streets at 15 years old. CPS got a hold of the girl when she ended up at the hospital one day. That's when Ms. Robinson allowed her to come stay with her and the younger daughter. Not sure what happened, but the oldest daughter is no longer at Ms. Robinson's house. She's been listed as a missing person since September. Another paternal grandmother of one of the boys spoke out, 71-year-old Linda Smith. She was upset by the news and said all of the boys lived with her at one point, and she's regretting that she did not adopt them. Miss Smith says Gloria was never like this before, saying that she became a new person when she met Brian. So you have 2 grandmothers here.
I got a question. Okay, when she met Brian, she became a new person. So, and you get, that's the boys. I can understand that she only know the daughter. She don't know about nothing else. But ma'am, I got to call you in the question too. Where were you? Like, I'll be checking up on these kids like crazy if you know what the change was. So you failed as well.
One says Gloria was always a good mother. The other says Gloria was always a bad mother. Gloria's family members also spoke to reporters. They said they had no clue what was going on because Gloria shut them out. They never knew her apartment number. She would just meet them at the front if they came by.
And this is basically the sadness where, because there's a video I want to talk about where this guy was like, oh, you know, we have a matriarch, we should protect them. It's not helping us. I'm just being honest with you. Black Americans, the matriarchy has not helped you. That's why I give you the statistics and the numbers of voting and everything, how that situation was before. You need a male in that way. The boy that was in Houston who did the school shooting and all this stuff, the grandfather had to step up and say, nah, it was because he was getting bullied because he was dealing with drugs. That's why he was. People like, oh, the mother like, oh, he got bullied, and that's why he shot. He brought a gun to school and shot people. No, he should be in jail. He brought an illegal gun to school, and the grandfather didn't stand. He stand there at the beginning, but after a while, he's like, no, it's not because he was bullying. He was selling drugs. Want to know why the heck you at 17 you have a brand new Charger and you got gold grills in your mouth? Figure how that works, don't it?
She would often move from apartment to apartment, change her phone number every 3 months. When they would ask her about the kids, she would just say they're in school or would tell them that they're okay. They said that she was also receiving disability checks from the government for the kids as well. Her cousin Yasmin said that her mother wanted to take custody of Kendrick from the time that he was born. She knew that she could not properly care for all those kids, but Gloria refused. According to Yasmin, Kendrick was autistic and nonverbal. When he would come around her, all he did was smile. He was very playful and he would laugh with her. Out of Gloria's 6 kids, 1 boy is dead. The other boy's in CPS custody. 1 girl living with her grandmother, and the oldest girl still missing. I do not feel sorry for Gloria. I feel sorry for all these kids traumatized by this situation.
That's what I'm feeling.
The 13-year-old girl, she's been removed from the chaos. Yeah, I'm sure she's still impacted by all of this.
Oh, she was traumatized.
So I feel horrible for her too. Those 3 boys living in that apartment for a year all alone, fending for themselves, and even still getting abused 3 weeks before the authorities got involved. These poor boys witnessing their brother being beat to death, remained in the house while his body decomposed. No electricity, no furniture, no blankets, just sitting there on dirty carpet, just snack food here and there. While Gloria and Brian, they didn't miss a meal. And then the oldest daughter, thrown out on the street because she fought against the abuser to protect her brothers from him. There's no telling what and who she's been exposed to out there in the streets. This is a horrible story.
It is a horrible story. I just want to present that so you guys could see the breakdown of the family, how he's coming out like that. And some of the fathers try to get involved, but again, the mom got disability, welfare, child support, all that stuff. She's getting the money while got her boyfriend on the side, Brian, who was a horrible person, but she wanted the wigger. The thug kind of looking dude. Oh my goodness. Piece of crap. Piece of crap. Just despicable. But we can't end it there. Nope. We gotta go to another horrible story. Another horrible story. This man right here, and I hope his family wins the lawsuit. Okay? Again, description down in the description is Pink Books Lesson. You will go watch her content. She provides good content and stuff like that. I give shouts to her.
Talk to me. Okay.
Do you need the police, yes or no?
Hello? I need the police over here. My wife got a knife on me on the bed right now.
She has a
Around
knife
my throat. Yeah.
So the knife is to your throat. Okay. What's your name?
Yeah.
And what's your wife's name? And what's your name?
Michael Craig.
Okay, Michael. All right.
Hear all this stuff. This will come back relatively later. You'll hear why I say. Oh my goodness, women get away with a lot of stuff sometimes. I'm not gonna. I'm just straight up honestly, but let's hear the story. You guys hear the story.
Yes. Make sure you answer any blocked or private numbers. The police are going to come. Your number?
Yeah.
Okay. Be looking out for the police, okay?
All right.
Okay, bye.
And my kids up in here, they scared.
How many kids you got?
One right now, here at the house. The other one's going to school.
Okay, got it. Be looking out for the police.
Yeah, she got the knife around my neck right now. I can't move. If I move, she gonna kill me.
Okay. We're sending the police.
And I got the front door open. Tell the officers the door is open.
The door is
my
open?
kids open the door. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Go downstairs so you can let the police in. Go. Do like I tell you. Go downstairs.
The man you hear there is Michael Craig of Chicago. Michael told his son to call 911, and you can hear him talking to the dispatcher, saying that his wife had a butcher knife to his throat. Their 7-year-old son was there the whole time, witnessing all of this. He told his son to go downstairs and wait on the police to come to hold the door open for them. When the Chicago police officer showed up, they immediately went into defense mode to protect the woman. And I think you may have an idea of what happened next.
And this is why I'm sorry, officers. I can't, like I said, when you do crap, when you're gonna see what's gonna happen right now, you see that? I can't defend you. Y'all did bad judgment. You should lose your badge. You should go to jail. This is one where the case shut closed. And it's not only that, the department's fault as well too. We could have recommended. You'll see what I'm talking about. This is why I don't. This is why I say, yeah, we need reform. This part right here, the cops need to go. We need to have the cops responsible. But I'll let it go now.
About this story, I couldn't believe that I haven't heard about it anywhere. This happened over
because it's not the narrative. Of course, you didn't hear about it.
For a month ago. And there are a lot of reasons for that, which I'll get into in a minute. But Rogue Truth put me up on this and thought this was a very important story to get out there, and I would agree, because it seems to be a lot of covering up going on, and I don't like it. Before we are from Chicago, let me know below. And also tell me if you heard about this story around the city. I really wanted to share the truth about this story, and it's still so much untold. I have much respect for the family, and my only purpose is to bring awareness to Michael's story. You know.
And so am I, because this is a sad story. Now, I'll point to again, Michael, you choose. This is why I say some fathers try to do the right thing, and they still get hurt by this. You choose the wrong woman. Point taken. But as you will see what happened.
Maybe another father can be saved from a situation like this simply
so.
by being aware. The sad thing is, a lot of men are out here dealing with Cruellas. People laugh it off. They don't take it seriously.
This is one of, before she continues, this is one of the reasons I always say, if a woman does, if people are like, oh, you're not a man, you're a punk. To the hell. A female, that's a self-defense, but if a female hits me, strikes me, do stuff, or his wife was doing horrible stuff, yeah, I'm calling the cops, which he did. Good for him. This time he called the cops. They didn't end it the way they want to, but no, you're not a punk if a woman's trying to threaten you and body harm you. Call the cops. Make sure it is the situation it is. All right, call the cops, young men. Do not be thinking, oh, you're a punk. You're not a punk for saving your own daggone life. Okay? You're not. Some women think, oh, you would never hit a woman. And they got that energy to think, okay, you would never hit a woman. So they get way more violent and way more crazier. That's why when you look at heterosexual men and woman, homosexual male and male, and homosexual women and women, the highest in the percentile, the highest domestic violence is the female. The highest is female and female.
Because they've been programmed to believe that women are harmless. Some may even believe that this behavior is cute. But I'm telling everyone out there listening, men and women, some of these women have serious issues.
Yes.
So stay away from them, because they can and will come for you. It was about 7:30 in the morning on October 4th, 2021. 911 dispatch received this call.
I need the police over here. My wife got a knife on me. on the bed right now.
She has a
Around my
phone.
throat. Yeah.
It was 61-year-old Michael Craig. He said the mother of his 7-year-old son was holding a knife to him and he couldn't move. His son there watching it all. The child was scared but still listened to his father's orders to go downstairs and hold the door open for police. 2 officers arrived on scene less than 10 minutes later. His son was there at the front of the building waiting on them. You could hear them asking the boy, "Does anyone have a knife? Who has a knife?" And the child replies, "My mama." The officer continues, "What is she doing with the knife? Do you know what she's doing with the knife? Who told you to call?" The boy replies, "My daddy." Police asked him which apartment was it and told him to wait at the front. You could hear Michael yelling for help, saying that she had a butcher knife to his back. Officers walked in, Michael already bleeding after being cut several times. The officer had the taser in his left hand, the gun in his right. Michael was yelling in pain. She was poking him with the knife. But instead of shooting her, the officer shot Michael. That's when the officer picked up the knife, pulled the woman away from Michael, and said, "Are you okay? Where did he stab you?" The lady said nothing. All of this captured on video, by the way. I'll leave the links to the videos below in the description. But you have Michael here.
And you can go to our channel. Like I said, the link is in the description here for the spots on Facebook. Like I've said before, go to Pink Book. If you can look for this, you can see the truth about Michael Craig, and go in the description and find the videos as well if you want to see this horrendous act of of evil. But there's more.
He's having a DV situation. Cops are called. He told them the woman was the suspect. When they got there, the son confirmed that it was his mama with a knife, attempting to hurt his dad. Then you heard Michael say it again when they entered the apartment. All of that, and they still saw her as the victim? How?
That's why I say, guys, you call the cops, you separate yourself away from the situation. You do that because 9 out of 10 times they will say you're the aggressor, even though you may not be that, but they will pull you away, arrest you while the woman stay in the house and all that nonsense. Okay? No. I think everybody should be separated. Now, that doesn't say, ladies, if a guy is hurting you, whatever, you call the cops and you separate as well too. I don't want nobody to get hurt. I don't want to get a shot. But guys, this is worse for you because they're going to think of you as the aggressor, even though the woman was the aggressor.
It only took a couple of seconds, and Michael was gone. His family described him as a kind, soft-spoken man with a big heart who was well known in his neighborhood. He would pick up trash off the ground to keep the neighborhood looking nice. If he saw someone carrying bags, he would help them. If someone was out there crying, he would ask them what's going on, what's wrong with them. An everyday working man, he made an honest living. Michael was a building custodian. According to one of his family members, he and his wife had been married several years, and they had a previous incident where she stabbed him multiple times. Even after what she did to him before, Michael stayed with her because of their 7-year-old son. He wanted to keep their family together.
Doing the right thing. I ain't got nothing against that. You just choose the wrong woman. Guys, be careful. You also have to... Women choose a lot of bad men. That's why you saw the previous video I just played, the story. So does men. You gotta make sure you choose the right people, man. Seriously. And when you see the issues, separate. Seriously.
As other officers and detectives arrived on scene, that's when the cover-up started. For starters, you may be wondering, where is the mugshot? Or what's the suspect's name? Well, this is why. I'll leave the link.
And this is why I said again, women get protected by this. This is why I say, guys, make sure you wrap it up. Wrap it up. Make sure you choose the right person. Yes, women have a different advantage that they could, it looks all good and whatever, and then they change. Women, same thing for men too, but it's more repercussion than because again, 80% of people, 80% of divorce are initiated by women. Most of the marriages also started by women. So again, I'm not against women. I'm against bad women just as much as I'm against bad men. Brian, who was earlier, he was a piece of crap human being, but the mother let that in life and let them destroy that family. And oh my, that's just the badness. But here's the situation. Pink is gonna explain why I say exactly this.
Below to this document as well, you're looking at the original incident report from the Chicago Police Department. Victim Michael A. Craig, born in 1960, 61 years old, 5'6", 168 pounds. Suspect, black female.
No name. Remember oh yeah, you don't. Yeah, there's a video on Straight No Chasers where I said about if you're in a dorm. No, sorry. If you're in college, do not date people in college, men, because if the women don't like what happened, okay, basically was this Indian guy came over. There was at a party. It's on camera. The camera saved this guy's butt, not all the way, but some of the way. In a party, she was very aggressive onto him, drunk maybe, but aggressive onto him. He went back to her dorm, of course. Next day, LAPD's at his dorm because they said he raped her, even though he didn't. It was consensual sex. But here's the funny part: in the video that proves he's innocent, the women were blocked off. Their face was blocked, even though they were the perpetrators. They were blocked off. No, if you do the crime, you lose your anonymity out the door. Sorry. When you've been proven that.
5'6", 183 pounds. Born in 1989, 32 years old. As you can see here, her name was covered up. They are protecting her identity, just like they protected her when they got to the apartment when she was the problem. Michael left out the house in a body bag while they transported this woman to the hospital, who was already in good condition. Nothing wrong with her, just a woman who stabbed a man for the second time. Because remember, this isn't the first time she's done this, according to the family. Then get this, they did not take her to jail. They took her to a mental health facility. Meanwhile, you got all of these officers here. Here's a list of all of the officers and detectives on scene. You can also click the link below to get this too. By looking at this list, you can't really tell which officer it was. Officer Ricky Thompson, he's listed as the reporting officer. He's a black man. But if you look at the video, the officer who shot him was not black.
Nope.
So who was the officer?
And it's not a white man either.
Well, his name is hiding in plain sight. Alberto Covarrubias. Here's another piece of the cover-up. In the report, Officer Alberto listed Michael A. Craig as the subject. I want to bring your attention to this part here. Was subject armed with a weapon? The officer checked yes. What weapon was it? He checked knife. Why would he write in his report that Michael A. Craig was armed with a knife when from the initial 911 call, you can hear it was his wife who had the knife? They also heard him say it on the scene, on the body cam. The little boy also told him that his mama had the knife, not his dad. But in this report, Officer Alberto, he lied and said that Michael had a knife.
This is why I said they're bad cops. And you're going to see how far down the well this goes.
And the lies didn't stop here. He checked that Michael did not follow verbal direction.
How?
He checked that Michael was a threat. He checked physical attack with weapon.
No, he wasn't.
He also checked that Michael used force to cause death or great bodily harm.
Good grief. Hispanic. I don't know how to say. I don't know how to say piece of S in Hispanic, but whatever. He is. You, sir, are.
You piece of loser.
Despicable. And I would never defend a cop like that. But again, it gets worse.
About Officer Alberto, he wasn't even supposed to be working with the Chicago Police Department. He had a case with the Chicago Police Board. They did an investigation on him in 2018, where the superintendent signed this document saying that he should be terminated. All of this comes from an incident about 2 years prior in 2016. The police board conducted this investigation. They said on Saturday, March 26, 2016, that Officer Alberto caused a disturbance. He got into it with another man, Guadalupe Morales, and the police had to be called on the police officer. Officers detained him when they arrived on scene. He threatened to kick the officer's A and was cursing at him, being combative. He also stole some of the officer's paperwork. Because he was an officer, they originally put him in the front seat of the car instead of the back. His sergeant arrived on scene and gave him a direct order to submit to a breathalyzer as a part of their administrative investigation, and he refused. The sergeant reported that he was intoxicated, and Officer Alberto, he did not want to cooperate with the investigation.
Am I shocked and
In
surprised?
their report, they found that he broke 8 rules, including disobedience of an order or directive, disrespect or maltreatment of any person while on or off duty, engaging in verbal and physical altercation with another person, and they cited that he broke this rule, intoxication on or off duty. All of this led to the superintendent recommending Officer Alberto's termination. A couple of years later, he's still there, shot Michael Craig in 2021, and attempted to cover it up by saying that Michael was the aggressor. As for Officer Ricky, he was there with Officer Alberto, and it looks like he's a part of the cover-up too. So you have this unidentified black woman.
That's why I say you gotta stop this whole protect yourself and all of the cops, whatever. I was saying, there you go. You have a Hispanic man and a black man. Kill a black man. Of course, if this was a white man, oh, trust me, the news would be all crazy. Oh, blah blah blah. How about we just? I don't care what the color is. I always say, evil comes in all shapes, size, color, creed, race, occupation. There are bad doctors who've killed people. They're bad with medical practice. They're bad cops who do this. We need to get as low number on the bad cops part. This man lost his life because of this bull crap.
She's the suspect, but she's being treated like a victim, working in cahoots with these officers, and that's why the family had to hire a lawyer to hold them accountable.
Yes.
I would recommend criminal charges and conviction of Officer Alberto and the wife.
Yes.
Take her out of that mental facility and put her in jail. That's where she's supposed to be.
Yes.
She was a toxic woman. She had already stabbed Michael before, but he survived it. And if I knew Michael then, I would have told him to leave that Cruella alone. And
Same with me, because it's not worth it, dude. Any violence like that, nah, that's it, done. Bye.
You know, I'm sure his family told him the same. But people, they think with their hearts. He wanted to keep his family together. You cannot have a family with a woman disrespecting you or stabbing you. We all see what happened here. The family that Michael thought he had is gone. And the 7-year-old, he is left alone without both parents. He's back at school, and I'm hoping they get counseling for him.
Yes.
Sending condolences to Michael Craig's whole family. I hope they continue to fight and hold these folks accountable.
I hope you do too.
I'm gonna leave the links to all of the videos below if you want to see the full videos.
Like I said, you could go to the link that I have in my video to go and check out this links as well too, because it's bad. It's bad, but it gets even worse.
Bravo showed up, defended the wife, and now that father is no longer here. As for his wife, she's at a mental health facility. After watching this video, go ahead and check out the full video. I have the links below. That way you can see what really happened. Shout out to Mr. Kwame Brown, very much so down to earth and with the people, not too proud to advocate for brothers like our brother Michael, an everyday, honest, working, blue.
I gotta give it to Kwame Brown as well too. Yes, Kwame does. Like I say, he's up there advocating for men and everything like that. I know a lot of women don't like it. It's just a lot, just like some people have said to me, "Hey, you." I don't. Again, I call out bad no matter what side it is. But there's not many advocates group for most men than women. Y'all have the view. Y'all have ABC, the news, everything, as you saw. Even the cops on your side. Men don't. In general, that's why we got it rough like that.
Collar man who was just trying to keep his family together, and that's why people like Kwame should be supported. I always hear him advocating for trades. He shared my video with his audience, and I'm going to get to his reaction a little later, but first up, a lot of you noticed the disrespectful dispatcher.
Yes.
My sister Zuyu Miss Ming, she said, how disgusting. Even the way the 911 operator talks to him in her dismissive tone. Another sister caught it too. She said, it's the 911 operator for me. She's the first person at fault and the person who put doubt into those officers' minds.
Yep.
She was very rude and condescending, and because she did not believe him, she didn't take it seriously, reported it as God knows what, and hung up on a man asking for help. She went on to say those operators are overworked, underpaid, and uneducated. Since when did they get the authority and discretion to behave this way? One thing about being a dispatcher, they don't even have to be the smartest person to do a good job, but they do need patience and they do need to know how to treat people. Both of you made really good points. I will say these operators, they've been cutting up for a long time. If you want to check out this video, I talked about this operator right here that was on the run the other month ago. You got all kinds of people calling in for help, and she was banging the phone on them. Before we break down this call, take a second to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Click that notification bell for all updates. If you're new, including nasty, and she was about to hang up on them probably. At this moment right here, Michael, he couldn't move. So he told his son to call 911. Michael told him to talk to the dispatcher, and then the son said, you talk to him. He's only 7 years old. He didn't want to talk to the dispatcher. He didn't know what to say. Meanwhile, she can hear this going on in the background. Instead of being patient and listening, she said this instead.
Do you need the police, yes or no?
What if somebody's having a medical emergency and they can barely get the words out? What if she's the last person they're able to talk to?
I know,
Why
right?
is she acting like she's watching her favorite TV show and somebody just rudely interrupted her?
Hello? I need the police over here. My wife got a knife on me on the bed right now.
She has a knife on you?
Yeah.
So the knife to your son, but you, okay.
At that point right there, you can tell she was discrediting his story. She didn't really believe him. She thought he was maybe playing on the phone. This is what Jade was talking about in her comment that she made. So because she wasn't taking him seriously, there's no telling how she relayed this story to them. Now, Officer Alberto, I'm still on you, because when you got there, his son told you what was going on.
What's your name?
If I called anywhere and the operator sounded like that, what's your name? I'm gonna be like, never mind, I don't need help no more. In an emergency situation, you'll be forced to deal with a person like that.
I know,
and
right?
At this point, I guess we just have to pray that we get the right person to answer the phone. If
In some cases, that is true. Jeez.
Family members had an emergency.
Yeah.
And what's your wife's name? And what's your name?
Michael Craig.
Okay, Michael. All right, you called already.
Did you get the officers out here?
She told him, you called already. That's not true, but even if he had called before, he's in a dire situation. Why would you respond to somebody like that?
All right, you called already.
There was another phone call placed, but it wasn't Michael. It was his neighbor across the hall. His son ran to the neighbor's apartment and knocked on the door and told her that his dad needed someone to call 911. So that's the first 911 call from the neighbor, not Michael. But why is she wasting time even saying that? Like, he already told you what position he's in right now.
Yes, make sure you answer any blocked or private numbers. The police are going to come. Your number?
Yeah.
Okay. Be looking out for the police, okay?
All right.
Okay, bye.
And my kids up in here, they scared.
How many kids you got?
One right now, here at the house. The other one's going to school.
Okay, got it. Be looking out for the police.
Yeah, she got the knife around my neck right now. I can't move. If I move, she don't.
I'm not sure what it was here. I don't know if this woman was just too big or if Michael wasn't trying to hurt her. Because you have a lot of people, they've always said not to do anything to a woman. There's no reason why you should ever do this or that. And maybe that's what was going on. I do want to point out that they're both the same height, but this woman was about 20 pounds bigger than her husband.
Okay. Listen to the police.
And I got the front door open. Tell the officers the door is open.
The door is
my
open?
kids open the door. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Go downstairs so you can let the police in. Go.
I would say by the end of this call, she wasn't as rude as before. But in my opinion, I do believe that her disposition had something to do with what happened to Michael. So I'm hoping that his attorneys, they bring that up as well. The family, they are planning to sue. Now, our brother Kwame Brown, he also believed that this was a very important story. So he spoke on the Michael Craig situation. Plus, he told us what the NBA advises players to do whenever they find themselves in problems like this.
Yeah, I want you to take a look at this, how they tell these young men how it is, because again, most of these men don't have fathers. Most of the NBA is black. 70%, 74% don't have fathers. You see how that situation goes.
Take a look.
Men need the same protection and rules just like women. Violence is violence. And
exactly,
we have some hands-off policy when it comes to violence towards men. My uncle was stabbed in the chest 2 or 3 times by a woman. She stabbed him over something that was the dumbest reason in the world. She almost a couple inches over, it would have been in his heart. Well, he does like most men do. He get out of jail and he say, "Oh no, I'm a man. You don't lock a woman up." He
No, you the hell with that. Oh, lock a woman up. Lock the chick the hell up. Hell no. Evil's evil. I don't care what sex, gender, whatever. You do violence is violence. Just like you said. That thinking, nope.
They dropped the charges. But if a man would have did that very same thing, the state
charges would have
picked it up and
exactly
he was going 100 years in jail.
Exactly. Exactly. What he just said is correct. That's what would have happened. That's the sad part about the situation.
So it's a little bit shaky what's going on now, that we're trying to uplift one group, but we're gonna disrespect the next. I think we can just have the law be the law.
Exactly.
And whoever violates said law, we punish him the same. But that's not what's going on right now. What's going on right now is that if you talk against a woman, or if you say anything disrespectful against a woman, even though this same thing can be said to a man, it seems to be okay. It seems to be okay. We should be able to take it. Same thing when I said little boys shouldn't tap into their feminine side and they should not cry, because when they become a man, here's the treatment that you get as a man. No one wants to hear your fucking cries. No one wants to hear your tears.
Exactly.
No one wants to see your sensitive side. So why are they teaching little boys this right now? I'm confused. All I was told when I fell was to get your little ass up. You a boy, brush it off. And I think by telling me to get up and brush it off, it made me a stronger man that knows how to persevere through certain situations. These little boys that are getting participation trophies and being told it's okay to cry when you fall, I think it's an issue.
And I want to do a little clip about that, a video to show why fathers, again, is very important. Don't let the media tell you about men is not important. Men is important. Just without men, we won't have women. Without women, we won't have men. We are a symbiotic relationship. Jeez.
But let's watch the video. Miss Pink Book Lessons asked that everyone share this video. So I'm going to do exactly what she asked. I'm going to share the video. Hopefully we can bring some awareness to that when fathers call the cops, when men try to do it the right way, there's still this thing that somehow they're at fault. At rookie transitional camp in the NBA, they teach you if a woman in the face, and if you can, run without missing and bumping in her and lock yourself in the bathroom and call the police. If she tears up your stuff, if she break your stuff, you just pray that you don't pick the right one to go in your room. So at every point, you got to be perfect, men. If you get a wily coyote and you let them in your room, they can act any sort of way. But let's just say if a man came into your room, women, and they're 2-3 times your size, there's nobody saying to you, run from them and let them tear up your stuff. No, if you behave a certain way as a man, there's consequences, which it should be the same way for women. But
exactly.
Thank you, Miss Pink, for this video.
And thank you, brother, for telling this story as well. I did not know that that's what the NBA taught these players to do. So now that story where I touched on Kenya Martin and Trina, it's making even more sense on why he had to leave her. And if you guys did not see this video, this is another one that you definitely have to take a look.
Yeah, because Trina was putting hands on Kennedy Martin, and that's why he didn't go forward with Trina with that, which is, yeah, it's funny. Women, you're women, like they want tall men, all that stuff. We're more powerful than y'all, but y'all still challenge because a guy should not hit a woman. Okay, but anybody can snap. Anybody can snap. I've seen it. I could tell the story about seeing when a woman pushed this dude and he snapped. And or did he snap? Now he didn't hurt. He didn't kill her. Nothing. It was right in front of us. I'll tell the story, whatever. But it was ridiculous.
Look at. I'm going to leave the link below to that video, as well as Kwame's reaction. Much respect to Kwame Brown. We're going to go ahead and get the conversation started below.
So that's the situation right there. This is why, again, I said fathers are important. And it's sad that this man lost his life because we had a crooked cop system in Chicago. Am I surprised? Really? Not really, because, again, and because the cop was a Hispanic and not a white man, this story does not make the story. It was a Hispanic man and a black cop, so they didn't make the story that he shot an innocent black man. And a woman walked free from this thing. Yes, please, Michael Craig's family, sue the hell out of these people. This is where a cop is wrong. And I'm not going to protect a cop that's this wrong. No. This is messed up. I've showed you videos where it also, they say, I'm not, it's just where, you know, majority of cops are not bad. Like I said earlier in this podcast, 20%, they said 25% of cops should not be cops. Let's try our best to get rid of the 25% as best as we can. You ain't gonna get rid of all of it just by proxy of how the numbers work. But let's try our best, though. Just like I said, I'm not against, I would like to get rid of racism, but let's try the best to get it is. Not with this anti-racism crap, because that thing does not work. It creates more racism because there's no such thing as anti-racism, because you can't act on something that you don't even know you're doing. It's stupid. But we try our best to whatever. But it's all come back to my theory that you guys have heard me say multiple times. It's about tribalism. That's how it works out in that regard, okay? Tribalism. It's sad that this man lost his life. It's sad that the kids see their father got killed, and it's bad. It's literally bad. And you saw these demons as I put out. Okay, horrible. And an Officer Carrera, or whatever his name is, yes, he should have been fired. Why he wasn't fired? Because of Chicago and all the stupid their mayor Lightfoot with all her dumbassery. She also is a
piece of loser.
That's just her for me. All those people, just this is a sad story, but that's just messed up how that situation was. It is. And you see how the media, I'm going to give a good example of that. The media twist, remember I showed you earlier, how the media twist the lies about Kyle Rittenhouse. They lied, literally, because people won't go watch the trial. The same thing I said with the Bill Cosby thing. The same thing I said, they don't go, go watch the trial to find out why things are what it is. Now, I'll go with this, and I'm gonna end on a good note. I'm gonna end on a good note. On a good note, because I think this was a heavy episode, and we got 39,348 people in the building. Thank you guys. Thank you. Share this video, share the content, go to Pink Book Lessons, listen to our content, go check it out, because it's neat, because help a fellow YouTube, whatever. Help this YouTube right here on YouTube. I mean, I know you're 10.5 miles up, but help on YouTube. Like I said, help share the video. Go to YouTube. You see down there, YouTube, Project Over Mike. Share, like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. Wait, hold a bit. Wait a minute. I know they're trying to, they might, I remember they're saying they might get rid of the thumbs down, but do what you can to help people out, please. In the ridiculousness of this, but I want to go these two things right here. I want to call these two things. Again, I don't get this part. I gotta bring this up because of We need people please your brains about this whole white supremacy crap nonsense. It's not really what it is, but it's a part of classism, and there's certain people who do not want you to get. These people, they don't care about you or whatever. They just want to keep you scared, afraid, so you don't buck up against the system. Republicans deploy a get out of race card. Remember I tell you how they feel, like how the left, right, progressive treat black people as pets. Also, when these certain people like these people get in the club, they do the exact same thing, and I don't like it. But I want you to hate for yourself, because they're calling Miss the lieutenant governor of Virginia a white supremacist. I'm like, it makes no. She's from Jamaica. Like, it's just, you know what? I'll let you listen to it because it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Here they want white supremacy by ventriloquist effect.
And Michael Clark Dunson is he is educated, but he's dumb as a brick. He could use those words right, and he's educated, but his intelligence nowhere close. He got a false. People get, oh, he's an intelligent man. No, he's not. He is literally an idiot. But because he's educated and he uses highfalutin words and make you feel sophisticated and so debonair that he comes off like, oh, he's a very smart man. Nah, he's an idiot. But he knows how to play his role. He's smart in that way to play the role. So does Joy Reid. Another woman, would you think her parents came from Guyana and she understands how their parents work hard to get to where she is, and thinking that she would pass on the same thing for a woman who came from Jamaica, who came to America, started her own business, became a Marine, and was very successful, and now she's the lieutenant governor by vote. Nope. She's a white supremacist mouthpiece.
There is a black mouth moving, but a white idea through the running on the runway of the tongue of a figure who justifies and legitimates the white supremacist practices.
You hear the words? You hear the words. Oh my goodness. Seriously.
We know that we can internalize in our own minds, in our own subconscious, in our own bodies, the very principles that are undoing us. So to have a black face speaking in behalf of a white supremacist legacy is nothing new. And it is to the chagrin of those of us who study race that the white folk on the other side and the right wingers on the other side don't understand this is politics 101 and this is race, not even 101. What's beneath 101? It's the pre-K of race. You should understand the fact that if you tell black people, look, I support a Negro. Look, there is a person of color that I am in favor of, and that person of color happens to undermine and undercut and subvert the very principles about which we are concerned, you do yourself no service by pointing to them as an example of your racial progressivism.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
He didn't say that because that was just bull crap that he spoke. Okay? So let me get this straight. So the white man went down to Jamaica, get her father, who fought in the civil rights, a person who went in the military, came to America. The white man gave her the money to become a successful businesswoman. You know those same people say, oh, women don't do this, whatever. There's an example of a woman being example, the lieutenant governor. She was not on the same ticket as Youngkin. People voted for her by herself. White people who's voted for a black woman and a lieutenant and also the secretary, the DEA, whatever. He's Hispanic. These white people voted for that, which I think if the white supremacists they would. What literally nonsense is that? Does that make sense? That does. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't get it. I'm seriously. Does that make sense?
No, son of a bitch!
because that don't make sense. But because MSNBC, again, remember, white people above them giving these black people money, perpetuate this nonsense. Maybe they liked her issues. And again, the reason why those people won, why the Republicans would sweep back over the Democrats, was not because, again, I've said it again, not because there's a red wave and all that nonsense and all that stuff like that. It's because y'all are nut jobs. You're crazy. That's why. Freaking hell. And you say stupid things. That's another reason. Let me show you why I say stupid things before we end this tonight. Diversity again. Remember, women this, whatever. Here's the thing. Yielding for Biden administration was paid off by a lot of the corporations to do all kind of stuff. If we go back to the videos I did about the Robin Hood situation, which was messed up. So here's the energy secretary. We're gonna hear some. I'm just gonna tell you what you're gonna get yourself ready for this crap, okay?
Sturgis, Michigan, it is $2.89 a gallon. I guess that's better than in California. What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Would that I had the magic wand on this. Oil is a global market. It is controlled by a cartel. That cartel is called OPEC, and they made a decision yesterday that they were not going to increase beyond what they were already planning.
Okay, let me help you. Let me help you desensitize the stupidity you just heard and saw. Again, for the first time in 60 years, under the last president, they love him or hate him, whatever. America was oil dependent. We had our own gas. We had our own stuff. It was all good. Day one, pipeline shut down and stopping fracking on federal lands. Oh, then the oil went down. Then May, when before summer came, President Biden went to OPEC and asked them, hey, give us more oil. But we had oil and we could have we had our own gas, but no, you didn't want that because of your stupidity. And of course, have the stupid laugh like freaking Kamala Harris with her crazy ass laugh when things just not the way.
Plan to increase oil production in America.
It's funny, ma'am. It's really funny.
You piece of loser. Oh my God, that is hilarious. Would that I had.
Oh yes, it's hilarious because you're in the elite part where you don't gotta worry about crap like that. But for the regular folks, now we gotta pay $3, $4, $5 a gallon for gas because of the Biden administration. Sorry, straight up, that's what it is. Stupidity.
Had the magic wand on this oil.
You had the magic wand. We had gas, and you chucked it away. But here's the part that killed me. That like I said, like, do you people not understand what you? I swear, you heard me say this multiple times. Do these people not understand that they're being recorded? Are they?
Is a global market. It
no S.
is controlled by a cartel. That cartel is called OPEC, and.
Okay, that's a smart move to do. Let me see. Let me call the people who can give us oil a cartel, which is a bad word, sending them into a bad organization, and then still ask them to give us more oil. That's a smart move. Holy
Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
That's how stupid that is. Good grief. Idiots. I swear. But let me end the video with something good. Going back to what about the father and what Kwame Brown just talked about, and I want to end us on a good note, which is this. Sometimes I was in Taekwondo when I was young. And it teach me, I had discipline already, but it was just an after school activity. But I want you to hear this exchange between the person and the student. It's very needed.
That's what this is about. Good. Let's get to that. Why are you crying? That's what this is about, son. It's okay to cry. We cry as men. Why are you crying, son? Come on. Tell me, why are you crying? It's part of the test for a reason, but why are you crying? Go ahead, son. Because what?
Because it is hard to do with my left hand.
Okay, good. But you did it, though. You punched it.
My gifts are from the real Rio because I always feel very confident in what I.
Dang it. This is
You know in life there's going to be things, but you did it, though. You punched it with your thing. You know in life there's going to be things harder for you to do than other things.
Yes.
And you know those things that may appear to be hard to do, you're going to have to do as a man, regardless. And it's going to take tears. It's going to take the blood of Yeshua, Jesus, and your sweat to break through it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So I don't mind you crying. I cry a lot too. You know what I'm saying? All right. So I want you just to, you pull in your blow. I don't know if you're facing fear or you're feeling that you may not make it. And we all face that from time to time. And we face, as soon as we have resistance, we want to stop, right? Because it's hurting. We feel that pain. We're like, I'm not going through this no more, right?
Lessons for life.
Exactly.
It's going to be very painful.
It is.
Yes, sir.
As men.
As a black man in this country, you're going to need mental fortitude. You're going to have to be strong here more so than here.
Exactly.
Big facts.
You can do it. You just got to put your mind to it. And it's good to cry so you can work through that emotion. So when it arises again, you can decide what you want to do. You understand? Let's see what you got. Breathe big. Hard. Tell me what hard you can.
There you go.
The emotion strewn across this.
And another YouTuber, Mediocre Reviews. Go and check him out. See how, his videos are very for men against shit broadcast. So MTR, most people call him, but you can check him on YouTube. But I wanted to play that video because again, you see how the kid worked through it. But it takes a father. It takes a father figure. You don't gotta be a father, ladies. If the father's a jerk, if the father's a dead jerk, right? Like I said, and don't want to take responsibility. And I do not defend fathers who walk away from responsibility if they were trying their hardest and then the women were making a pain in the ass. But if they try their hardest to be in their children's life, and they walked away from it and they didn't, and they just go the other way, find a father figure. Now, not like Brian, like we saw earlier, that piece of crap loser. Find a right father, not a thug wannabe, whatever. Find a good person, uncle, and be there too. Because in the black community too, a lot of people say, "Oh well, a lot their uncles also who are also less kids." So again, you gotta be due diligent. I'm just being honest with what I'm saying, but on that regard of the situation, I want to make sure that you guys, having a figure like that, see what he does, and the young man felt more perseverance to do stuff. That's what needs to happen. Find yourself a father. That's what my mother did. I had my father, but he wasn't there. Different countries and all this situation. But I had father figures. Plus, my cousin who passed away was there too. That's why I was a father figure to my sister. That's what it is. So I want you guys to understand, see how he fought through all that, and he didn't cry the second time, because only a man will teach a young boy to be a man. And please choose the right men. Just like I just showed about the lady Michael Craig who died. Guys, choose the right woman. All right. I feel like he wanted to keep his family together, and I understand. He's like, I'm not gonna be like them other people. I'm gonna keep my family together. And she was mentally messed up. And I hope the police department, I hope the family sue the living s out of those cops. And that cop should be not only disbanded, which he should have been, he should be in jail for manslaughter, tampering with evidence. That's what he should be in jail. It's on camera. The evidence is right there. Everything's there. So I hope they put it. That's why I'm sharing. That's why I shared the video, just like Mikey Kwame Brown shared the video, because it's needed. All right. That's the reason why I said, is it justice or just us? Because again, if that was a white man, the media would be all over it. But because it's not a white man, the media is nowhere to be found, except for local news. The same thing with the other one. Because it's a black mother doing horrible stuff, it's local news. Where's the national news with it? No, it was a white woman. She got out of stuff. Joy Reid, the woman you just saw there, she's like, oh, we always giving white women this, whatever. Well, why don't you talk about the black women who go through the crazy, who done crazy stuff, or go through crazy stuff? Or we don't want to talk about that, because that's not what the narrative is. Again, look for multiple sources. That's why you see me use all these different sources. This is why I watched the trial. That's why I saw what it is. I think Kyle should, like I said, the charge about the 17, having a gun stuff, that's the only thing that might have get him on. But everything else was self-defense. And you gotta have people lying on the witness stand, as you just heard. Also, the star witness said he didn't, that he went up to shoot the thing. He had a gun at Kyle. And it's weird that people are protecting the guy, the first guy who killed. Like I said, he was basically convicted, whatever, and he was saying all the N-bombs, whatever. But it's just weird how the media does things. So, anyway, thank y'all for joining us tonight. This is combined with everybody. I think we basically touched almost 40,000 people. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Please, if you can, share this video. I know Temper FM, you do that. Thank you guys for that. Mostly Temper's on that. Live again. Hey, I know I'm new to you guys, but we got over 2,000 people on live watching. Thank you guys for giving your time and your ear on that. Facebook, got a couple. YouTube, maybe 3. Yeah, about 3 people, like I said. But hey, I understand that we're gonna try to set up a locals or Bumble and everything else by the end of the year, so we could spread the message again. I'm not asking for your money, whatever. I'm asking you to give me your time, your eyes, your ears, and listen to the real information, and you make your decision. If you think I'm full of crap, sit down there and then have a discussion about it, or come, or be in a chat or whatever. Tomorrow on Side Chat, we're gonna continue to do some more stuff, see what it is. But other than that, guys, thank you for giving me again your time, your eyes, your ears, and listen to what I have to say. Share this content if you can. Remember, evil is evil, no matter what it is. Evil is race, height, gender, sex, race, occupation, color. It made no difference. Evil, okay? And remember, people are stupid. Individuals are smart. Please be that smart individual. Y'all have a good night. Catch you next time. Next Thursday, same time, same channel for another Project Over Mike. And catch us also tomorrow for the Side Chat. Peace out.
This on the news tonight. Bye. Have a great Friday, you mother.